Hello geometry students, this is Mrs. Raposa, and in this video I'm going to briefly show you how to go over the 5 problems that were in the Simplifying Radicals worksheet. Part of this assignment was a worksheet, the other part was a Desmos activity. I will be sending to each one of you who did the assignment the link to this video and the answer keys. So first of all, this video right here, I didn't tell you what it was for, but it's just to show you how to insert radical signs. Let's take a look at the first one. A lot of you thought you needed to break it down like we did here for the square root of 20, but there's no need to break this down. The square root of 81 is the square root of a perfect square, so you just give the whole number 9. It was meant to be easy, but I think some of you thought it was too easy maybe, and that's why you started breaking it down. Square root of 81 is 9, just like the square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 25 is 5. The next one is not a perfect square, square root of 12. So this is where we need to start breaking it down and looking for perfect square factors of the number. Remember, perfect squares are numbers like 4, 9, 16, and 36. And those are all perfect squares, and 81. Okay, but this number 12, even though it equals 1 times 12 and 2 times 6, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, they are factors of 12, but they're not perfect square factors. If we break this down to 4 times 3, now 4 is a perfect square, so that's the one I want to use. So the square root of 12 can be broken down into the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. And the square root of 4 here, that's just a whole number 2, so just replace it with 2. So this is really 2 root 3. When you take the square root of a number, don't put the radical sign back over it again. You're done taking the square root. Just give the whole number equivalent. Number 3 is almost exactly like number 2, except it's square root of 4 times square root of 10. Perfect square factor of 40 is 4. And so this ends up just being whole number 2 times root 10. And for number 4, there were so many different ways you can do this one. Some of you started breaking this down into root 4 times root 3 times root 2. You can do it. That'll work. They should all get you to this answer. However, I think the easiest way to do it is to work backwards. Instead of going from the one number under a radical into breaking it up, let's take the breaking up and go into one number under a radical. So the square root of 12 times the square root of 6 is just root 12 times 6, which is the square root of 72. And 72 has a perfect square factor of 36. This is really, 72 is 36 times 2, so root 72 is root 36 times root 2. And the square root of 36 is just whole number 6. So this just becomes 6 root 2. And the last one is a fraction under a radical sign. They're both perfect squares. The numerator and the denominator are both perfect squares. So root 4 over root 49 just becomes whole number 2 over whole number 7. No radical sign or square root sign is needed in the answer. It's just 2/7. Well, hope that was helpful.